part of him pieces. Oh, you felt they carried him on a chariot and took him to the wilderness to the island of Patmos. Somebody they are trying to kill. They tie him and they drag him. He was rolling like a stone until he reached the wilderness. And when they left him there, just when he was about to die, see, I was in the spirit on the Lord's day. So he began to live at the point of death. And that was when what Jesus said began to find expression. This guy survived by Ebenezer because he could not help himself at that point. A time is going to come when it will be referred to as the evil day. In that day, my brother, everything you know as a defense will just fail. You are moving suddenly, brake fail, and you're on high speed, or you are flying on the air and suddenly they say the plane engine just stopped. What do you think you need that day? Mama or Baba? You need Ebenezer. You need another kind of help, because you are going to be face to face with the gate of hell. At that point, God will have to give strength. And all of them backslided after Jesus left. And by the time they backslide, he has to appear to them again. And when he appeared to them, he said, go and tarry. Go and tarry until you've been endued with power from on high. Will you again restore the kingdom back to Israel? It's not of you to know this thing. Forget about that restoration now. It's an escape that when you try, you may die. Because power sits upon those gates to ensure that the kingdom does not return back. But wait, you shall receive power after the Holy Ghost come. And when it comes, you don't need to ask. By default, the kingdom will return back to Israel. I don't have to ask whether is the kingdom in your family return back to you now. The scepter of the wheel of authority in your family is back to your apostle. By default, if they have contended with your father, they kill your mother, they kill this one. Now when they came to you, the scepter is returned. If you ask that time, what kill your father, it may kill you. What kill your mother, it may kill you. But now, you don't even need to ask. Because while they tarry, it returned. Oh God, my family, this is happening. Don't worry. Tarry in Jerusalem until you be endued with power. Because when it comes, by default, the people shall be willing in the days of thy power. And through the greatness of thy power will the enemy submit themselves. As I'm talking to you right now, there are many witches and wizards in your family that are submitting to you. You don't know. They have fought you, oh, tired. They have bring your name. Anytime they carry your picture, they call you in the mirror. You appear, the mirror break. They buy another one. As they call you, appear, the mirror break. They gave you poison. The more you eat, the more you are fat. Anytime they are trying to fly, as they fly, they come towards your house. Something just hold them like this. After they have tried and they are tired, they now decide, this one is our God. They now submit themselves to the greatness of thy power. With the enemy submit themselves. The submission of the enemy is compelled. So there is nothing they can do. You think the enemy like the way you are advancing? For mango? Hiya. You think that's... Because the last person that tried to host there, wake up at night, he saw like a dagger. They cut his head. So when he was walking physically, he had an accident and his head went out. The other person that wanted to hold, as he was rising, suddenly, they look upon him and they cast spell upon him. And they diagnosed him incurable sickness, and before you know it, he died. Another person rose up, commanding influence, and suddenly they send another kind of weapon. Because they form weapons strategically designed to snare. But those that understand Ebenezer, that know that they are coming from the system of the help of God, they knew how to stand. Remember the Lord thy God in the days of thy youth, because an evil day come. The evil days, when it comes, what will you do? In the day the devil come, what will you do? The only reason why Job survived was because of what Job knew before the devil came. If you know nothing before the devil come, when the devil come, my brother, you can't stand. If you were Job, you would have given up, because it was an evil day that came. The days of gloominess, thick darkness, where there was no light. Your journey in God right now is building a fortress in you, so that in the days when the evil day come, God can prepare a table before you in the very presence of your enemies, and you can walk through darkness. You are not afraid, not because of anything. It's because you come as light. But when you are not prepared, when the evil day come, it chokes you up. How many believers backslided as we just enter earlier of this year, when all the city, everything begin to fail? And the Lord told us it's a time to mount up. I bring you greetings from family in Lafia, Shakaina Network Internationals. I always forget. You know, the Lord said, I was in an encounter early this year. I was upon the mountain. I think Apostle Bulu, some few of them knew it. I climbed mountain. I stayed there for like, sometimes we stay for 6 days. I'm born on Christmas Day. Immediately I go up to the mountain, because I've been with people. People have not helped me, so I go to where I will receive help. Moses was with people. His face did not glow. The more you stay with people, the more you have problem. Go and stay with God. Your problem have no end until you behold the Lord. All this confusion in your life, what it needs is just one beholding. As you behold, you are transformed. All these unanswered questions, you will listen to 35 sermons, they won't be answered. You need just one light that comes from an encounter. When he appears, you now realize everything the devil said was a lie. It's not as if he doesn't need to answer any of the questions. In fact, he doesn't even need to even give you any light or direction. When he just appears, you now realize that although you don't have a job, although you are not married, although you don't have a house, you don't have a car, you are willing to still go with the Lord for the next 5 years. Why? One encounter gladdens your heart. And so as you begin to advance, it will not take 2 years, 3 years. And then all the other things will not start working on their own just like that. But the strength to still advance is the problem. Because when the Lord did not appear, you just realize that you just wake up and say, I'm not doing again. And I was in the mountain praying, and I saw in a vision. In fact, I saw a fight between Russia and China. I didn't know it's going to be Ukraine, but what I saw was Russia, China. You know, then I begin to see some contentions. I see fights going on in Nigeria. I saw failure within political sectors. But I now saw the believers turn to become like the eagles, and they began to fly. And I see 2 sets of eagles. I saw younger eagles and older eagles, and they were flying together like this as they were soaring, moving. I saw as they were advancing, the older eagles were at the front, the younger ones were at the back advancing. And as they were coming, they will go, and as they are going, they will meet a mountain. The older one will fly above the mountain and go and pass the other location. Anytime they move, they meet a barricade. The older ones have a way of navigating and passing through the barricade and coming out on the other way. But the younger ones are trying to learn their wings. They are still trying to learn how to be able to navigate. So some of the older ones, some of the younger ones, as they are trying to fly above the mountains, they are hitting the mountain. Somehow they could not gain more altitude, so they are colliding with the mountain and they are falling down. And few among the younger ones were able to fly beyond. I get to the point now. Then, as they were moving, I now saw arrows being shot towards them again, as if there was an hunter that was just shooting them. And they were shooting them. I saw how that many of the older ones could even, you know, can even divert the. There's a way, I can't observe. There was a way they were even diverting, you know, those arrows, you know, by the position, how they were doing their wings and the rest. And they were just, I was shocked. But the younger ones were not skilled to handle that. And I saw how many arrows were piercing them again and again. And the Lord told me that this year is going to be a terrible year, and He's demanded of us to mount up higher. He said, tell your people, this is the year for mounting up. That in the midst of this calamity, they must wait upon me sufficiently well to receive strength for them to go higher, so that there is a place where the enemies will not see them. And I realized, he told me that part of those young English and the other one that refused to stay and be able to renew their strength were the ones that their strength were failing as they were advancing. He said it was now a moment where they needed their strength. It now began to fail because they were demanded to have waited, they didn't. And that was when I realized that this year is going to be terrible for many people. But those that have spiritual intelligence and those that have waited upon the Lord, that are wise enough, are going to see that there are other fountains that the Lord can open. There are other possibilities even in the midst of this darkness. Remember the Lord thy God, because an evil day comes. When that evil day comes, how do you survive? By the strength of Ebenezer. It may not be too long. Your evil day will come. My mom is here. My mom that prayed me to become born again. Many years ago, I was a smoker, I was a drunkard. Yes. I was drinking, I was smoking. I did Mushagia then. Mushagia, Mushataba, Mushawiwi, Musha Madaran Sulkudai, Musha Solution, Mumbi Mata. You felt that is life, Abi. I'm enjoying my life. You are fake, you are not even existing. This matter we are saying is not of value to you. See, big boy and big girl is not by smoking and drinking. Two big boys and big girl, they speak in tongues and they prophesy. As carnal as these things are, there's no award for it. You know, they give award for everything. Big brother Nigeria that you see, is carnality. But the real award they should be giving there is the most immoral person, the most stupid, but they won't give it. They will give it in another coin way. Because as carnal these people are, they will never gather and say, let's give an award to the best drunkard of the year, the best smoker of the year, the best lady that sleep with 35 guys of the year. They will never do it. They will hide it in the big brothers. If big brother, they're not supposed to be the one that should guide us. If you have a big brother, it's not your big brother that should lead you, but the big brother don't have sense. But in the day the big brother don't have sense, can't the smaller brother have sense? But the problem is that the big brother have made even the smaller brother to follow the big brother. Many of you are part of their sponsors. When are we going to wake up and say we will not watch anything carnal until they lose views? If nobody is watching, they won't do it. If nobody is voting, they will not do it. But because people, Christians, are supporting it, are ambassadors of it. Check the names of people that are doing it. Is it Muslims? Christians. Your 15 naira voting, when you multiply 15 naira by 10 million people in Nigeria, you know how much is it? And every time you are voting, you are sponsoring it, and you are streaming it. And you have not streamed anything in the realm of the spirit. And you come back and you ask God, my life. You don't see, you are not serious yet. The day you are serious, you forsake all things. The level of the burden upon me, I can't remember the year I sleep down to watch a movie. The only movie I watched was this Sudden, Prophet Sudden, because I met the Willows at IEC, and they were talking about this. Sit down, say I'm watching. If you have problems on your head, you won't be doing that. Problems make you responsible by default. At least responsible thinking. But because there is nothing that troubles you, you know, you don't even think you need help at all. You are just there. And only you, series 1, series 2, series 3, series 4, series 5. For 1 week. And you are even angry. Why did the thing stop at this series? They can go higher. You even have revelation on how they can add this part, You are not part of the shareholders. A guy was fighting with his friend. Why? Because Ronaldo and Messi, who is the best? We need to be serious with our lives. Remember the Lord thy God in the days of thy youth. Because what I'm telling you now are what affect the youth of this society. None of us found God while we are old. We find him when we are young. Because a time came in our youthful age that we realized that what we are doing was a lie. Every time, as I will go and smoke and drink and come back tired, sometimes we vomit on the road. We come and lie down. Your parent, we still have faith and believe. I'll never forget one time mom looked at me and said, Kai, the life you are living now, you have younger ones, they are looking at you. Is that how you want them to live? I went back for days, I'm thinking about it. So I look at my life. Is my life a good example? You have not sat down to ask yourself, if God should multiply your own kind, will this earth be better? Are you a good example for God to multiply? Forget God use me. God don't need to use you. You like this now. If God should just multiply you plenty, let all of us look like you here. If they should play our life now, play it. Are we good examples? And when I now realize that I am my own problem, and I say, God, help me. Because every day, if I don't smoke, I don't feel okay. If I don't drink, I don't feel okay. I must go and sit among the camp of my non-future ambitious friends. You know, we are so poor, but we are too rich too. No matter how poor a drunkard, a smoker is, he will still have money to steal. Just go there. There is somebody willing to waste his 10,000 on you. A man that may never help you in life, tell him you want to go to party, he will help you. And some of you are so addicted with sex and all of these things, and you feel your life without it, you are dead. You are earning 500,000, even 10,000 to give in the house of God is a problem. But you can give ladies 50,000, 70,000, 80,000.